Welcome to your video lecture series of cryptography and network security. I am your instructor Dr. Ramesh Prajapati, and today we are going to learn the digital signature. So let's start with today's agenda. The first we will see what is digital signature, the need of the digital signature, security of digital signature, and the last is the requirement and the requirement of digital signature. So let's start with the first is what is digital signature. Right, so here we can say that digital signature it is a one authentication mechanism. So first of all, in your mind, one question: what is authentication mechanism? So authentication mechanism, it means that there are two users, sender and receiver. Sender send the message to the receiver. So how a receiver is identified, the sender is a correct person. The same process, how the sender is identified, the receiver is a correct person. So that's why we need the authentication mechanism. It means that the sender has to identify the receiver is the authenticated person. Same, a receiver is also identified, the sender is the correct person. So with the help of authentication mechanism, we will find this. Right. So here the authentication mechanism, digital signature is an authentication mechanism that enable the creator of a message to attach a code that act as a signature, and the code we can represent hash code, and this hash code is encrypting the message with the creator's private key. Right. So here the holders has a private key and he can generate the signature. So the next, the signature guarantee the source and the integrity of a message. It means that with the help of digital signature, we have to identify the source is the correct person. It means the receiver receive the message. This message came from the genuine source and has not been altered. So that's why the digital signatures give the guarantee, the source and the integrity of message. Now let's see the one scenario to represent the digital signature. So here we can consider the two people. The first is a bomb, second is a Alice. Then bomb want to send the one electronic mail to the Alice. So the first, considering the plain text message, we applying the hash function on the plain text message. After applying the hash function, it's generating a hash code. The hash code is appended to the message. Applying the encryption along with the private key of bomb. Now it's generating a signature, and the bomb signature from this message, and now the bomb is sent the message to the Alice. Now what Alice can do is apply the hash function on the plain text message. After applying the hash function, it's generating a hash code. Now same, the Alice decrypt the message along with the public key of bomb. After applying the decryption, it's generating a hash code. Now compare both the hash code. Both the hash code will be are equal. Both the hash code are equal. It means the message or digital signature is valid. Right? So this is all about the scenario of digital signature. Now I hope you clear this. Right? The next, why we need the digital signature? Because we have seen, if we need to achieve the authentication and the integrity of message, that's why we need the digital signature. The same thing, the another scenario is there. So let's see the scenario. The first, message authentication protect two parties who exchange the message from any third party. Right? It means we want to protect the two parties who exchange the message from any third party. So how we can do it? So let's see the one scenario over here. You can see the several form of dispute between the two are possible. That means let's take one scenario. There are two users Mary and John. Now, the Mary may forge a different message and claim that it came from John. Now, Mary have to create a message and append an authentication code using the key, and that John and Mary share. That means this key is shared between the Mary and the John. Now, after some time, the John can deny the sending the message. So because it is possible for Mary to now, after a few days, John can deny sending message because it is possible for Mary to for a message. There is no way to provide, no way to prove that John sent that message. How we can prove that John sent the message? Because we have no proof. So that's why this is the one problem. So both scenarios are legitimate concern. So the sender pretend that the message was never sent. So in this situation, where there is not a complete trust between the sender and the receiver, something more than authentication is needed. Right? So solution for this problem is digital signature. Now, before going to see the digital signature, the first what do I hash code, MAC and digital signature, because the digital signature is serve three things. The first hash code, it means message authentication, non-repudiation and integrity. So the first is a hash code. So the hash of the message is appended to the message itself, and only the protects against the accidental changes to the message. That means the attacker who modify the message, he can generate the new he can calculate the new hash code and use that hash code instead of original hash. In this scenario, this only gives the integrity. Message authentication code protect against the message forged by anyone who doesn't know the secret. That means the receiver can forward any message, thus we have both integrity and authentication. Now the third is digital signature. A digital signature is created the private key and the verify with the corresponding public key. So that's why it is called the asymmetric key pair. So it means the holder has a private key can generate the digital signature, and the who have the public key of holder, that person can verify the signature. Digital signature provide the non-repudiation. So this all about the hash code, MAC and the digital signature. Now the next, what is the security of digital signature? The following types of attack can be possible in a digital signature. So the first, now in this scenario we are considering C is an attacker and A is a victim. It means that A is any person. So the first key only attack. In key only attack, the attacker knows the public key of user A. Now in non-message attack, the attacker has set up message and the signature. The third generic chosen message attack, here the attacker obtain the A's signature on a message selected without the knowledge of the A's public key. The next scenario, directed chosen message attack. In this attack, C obtained the A's signature on a message selected after knowing the A's public key. adaptive chosen message attack. It means the C may request signature on a message depending previous message signature pair. It means in this scenario, the attacker has the previous pair of signature, and based on that previous pair of signature, it matches the current plain text message. So this is all about the possible attack on a digital signature. Now the next, if I want to break the signature, so there are again some types of breaking a signature scheme can do any of the following. The first is a total break. It means the C determines the A is a private key. It means the attacker, C determines the attacker determines the A is a private key. If attacker will be able to get the private key of user A, so it will be get the future communication from the sender and the receiver. It means that the attacker will know the future communication between the sender and the receiver if it knows the private key of A. Now next is a universal forgery. Universal forgery, the C find the efficient signing algorithm. So first attacker find the efficient signing algorithm, and based on this algorithm it find the or it construct the signature on an arbitrary message. Now the next is selecting forgery. A selective forgery, C created a duplicate signature for a particular message chosen by attacker. Now the next message, the existential forgery. In this, the attacker create a duplicate signature for particular message, and this message is not chosen by the attacker. Now the next topic is the digital signature requirement. Why we need a digital signature? So what, and second, what are the advantages if we use the digital signature? So what are the advantages? So first, the signature must be in a bit pattern that depend on the message being signed. It means that here we are using the various hash algorithm, and based on that various hash algorithm we will generate the signature. And then second, the digital signature must use some information unique to sender to prevent both forgery and denial. The next, it's easy to recognize and verify the digital signature. It is very easy to create a digital signature. The next is, it must be computationally infeasible to create a duplicate digital signature, either by constructing a new message for an existing digital signature. Right? It means we cannot determine or we cannot generate the duplicate digital signature. If you want to create a duplicate digital signature, so first of all you have to construct a new message for an existing digital signature. Practical to retain a copy of digital signature in a storage. It means the signature must be a practical to retain a copy of a digital signature in a storage. That means that the copy of digital signature is available in a storage. So it's all about the digital signature. I hope you clear this idea. Thank you.